How would you describe the overall situation with e-invoicing in Sweden?
In Sweden, e-invoicing also exists very much in the market. So there is mandates on the public side. They also have their own operator network as Finland, also have Peppol, and there are also solutions on the B2C side. But overall in Sweden, if you look at the adoption rates, there's also a lot of potential to use e-invoicing even more.
Yeah. Sweden has been kind of developing the e-invoicing landscape a bit differently than, let's say, other Nordic countries like Finland and Norway. What sets them apart?
Well, if you think about Sweden, for example, in comparison to Norway, in Norway, the public sector has really had a strong push and role in pushing the e-invoicing. On Swedish side, it's really been the business benefits, but maybe more the large enterprises and the private sector. And this kind of has done that there are sort of these tailoring and quite a lot of customizations in the e-invoicing world. Which of course is really nice for the automation and being able to do different things, but maybe especially on the SMB side, there's been some barriers to entry, and maybe that has impacted that the adoption there has not been so fast.
Yeah. But I've understood that there are quite large amounts of business benefits that could also benefit the SMB companies as well. Could you maybe give us some examples of those as well?
Yeah, so I think something when we talk about e-invoices is that people might think about that, hey, it's a digital thing, it's a PDF. But again, it's really about the amount of data, the quality of data, and the automation it enables. So just the invoice processing automation, you get better data, and then on the software side as well, it's a lot easier. Usually PDFs are exchanged via email, so that's maybe not the most safest way to get your invoices. And I think actually in market studies, the Swedish companies, especially in SMBs, there are things like delays in payments, invoices getting lost. A lot of those things are actually something that e-invoicing could help you with just by having like a secure, structured network to use.
Yeah. I think it's quite a common misconception that PDFs are e-invoices as well, but they do lack that structured format that is required for electronic, like true electronic invoicing.
Yeah, and definitely there are like scanning services, OCR, different ways to get data from PDFs in a more automated way, but still compared to an actual invoice and the data there, it's not quite the same thing.
Yeah. I've also understood that in Sweden, actually, the sustainability is obviously quite a big thing, and even the SMB companies are quite aware of the environmental effects. So e-invoicing brings benefit to that end as well, right?
Yeah, definitely. That's a good point to mention, especially compared to paper. The carbon footprint of e-invoice is a lot smaller. And yes, that's true. Swedish companies in general are relatively like sustainability aware and really appreciate the environmental benefits of e-invoicing as well.
Yeah. Well, what about if we go into kind of the details, let's say the mandates and formats and so forth? What would you bring up from those when it comes to Sweden?
Yeah, so the mandate exists on the public side, and there it's on B2B side there isn't a mandate, although there is adoption. Coming to the formats, Svefaktura is the Swedish format that's really their own, and then there are Peppol invoices. And when it comes to the government at the moment, they have actually really adopted Peppol, and the Swedish authority, they are pushing it. And the newest Svefaktura and Peppol piece are actually the same. So those have been aligned. But what happens in practice is that actually those older versions of Svefaktura are still used. So, but it's happening, and Peppol actually has been growing a lot in Sweden as well.
Sounds like a good movement to the right direction. Then when it comes to software vendors that are operating in Sweden or looking into growing there, what would you give us like the key takeaways for them?
I think e-invoicing definitely is something that can bring a lot of benefits to the companies. So, and being able to support Svefaktura and Peppol is important. One thing is also the consumer side. So Sweden already has different applications and net bank solutions for consumers, but they're also going to have this Norwegian yes to all register coming soon. Yeah. So also on the B2C side, the invoicing is important. And as you mentioned, there are real benefits, and sustainability is one maybe more detailed characteristic on the Swedish market.